Now we're good.
Awesome.
Wow, that was just a rookie. So people just missed the first like 30 seconds of that because you had the mute button on.
All right. So we are live and
damn.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We're back. Sorry about that for everyone that tuned in. Hey, we'll try this again. Take two. Welcome to the Ryan Ripken Show. Episode 33. I'll explain that in a minute. We're just running through it again. We got Brad and Rocco right there. We got Zach. He's back.
Yeah, I'm still here.
God.
All right.
Wait, so Brad, as we said before, Brad just got here from how far of a drive?
That was 442 miles.
Rocco, how far away do you live from here?
It's like in Canton.
I was just wondering who got here first.
Can I say something though? I don't. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't care how far you drove. You roasting me for wearing a hat and then wearing a hat is just blasphemy.
Do you see how I am wearing this hat? You can see my entire face. I did this intentionally so you all could. I was giving you a lesson on how to wear.
Because you're wearing the flat brim trucker hat. I bend my hat
bro,
like
this
a.
is, yeah.
All right,
this is how you look.
Yeah.
This is how you look on camera. Both of you motherfuckers. So just tilt it up
look
a little
who wore
bit.
Backwards.
Brad's coming in
See my whole
hot, by the
face,
way.
because I knew he was going to do that shit.
Yeah, he
So I
did
was ready
say
to
this
fire back.
before.
Yeah. You had that loaded in the chamber.
I sure did.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, I will say Brad's exactly right. I don't mean to get on you guys, but Rocco, you look like you committed something. You're embarrassed, or you're going into a movie that you know that you don't want to be seen at, and you're just in there by yourself. At least right now, show your face. You're a good kid. But hey,
show those muscles.
Yeah, I mean,
Swole Batman. I think we found out who Swole Batman was today.
Yeah,
Batman or you? Well, Batman's he.
I'm just the funny, lovable Batman.
Funny or lovable. Honestly,
I'm just the guy everyone joins to. He's the namesake Batman.
He's the namesake.
My name is my name's Ryan Ripken. The show's named after me. But hey, we got to jump into a lot of things. We're on a little bit more of a time crunch. We were doing an earlier show because of that. But thanks for tuning in. I hope your Thursday is going well. We're almost to Friday where everything feels better. We're close. We're really close. But we got a lot of spicy topics. And how about this? No Ravens this week. So you can kind of relax. You know you're not going to be stressed on Sunday night watching the Ravens. But nevertheless, everyone wishes that they were playing. But there's a lot of other things to talk about. So let's go right into it. What's spicy? And the first thing that is spicy on the list, guys, you might think of Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport breaking news. It's neither of those guys. It's J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt just announced that Zach Ertz is being released by the Arizona Cardinals.
Who reported it?
J.J.
What?
So J.J. Watt is saying that Zach Ertz is out. He's been granted his release, and now he is a free agent. Now, guys, I know a lot of people are thinking a lot of things, and Zach, I'll start with you. There is going to be rumblings about where he should go.
Definitely. So pretty much he stated he wants to go to a contender. And it's weird. When you look at the top of the NFL, two teams really stick out as contenders with tight end issues. The Baltimore Ravens and then Zach Ertz, former home for most of his career, the Philadelphia Eagles. So I really think it comes down to both of those teams. The way I see it is if the Ravens want Zach Ertz to be a Raven, they're going to need to pick him off waivers, because I don't see him hitting the open market and turning down Philadelphia if they want him.
No.
It just feels like a reunion right there.
Yeah.
Rock, Brad.
Look, the Ravens would be great if we could just kind of get him for the remainder of the season. Put a poll up for our folks who are watching. It's actually split 50-50 between Ravens, Eagles right now. I thought maybe Jaguars could also be a potential landing spot that, playoff contender, of course. And so if there was like a dark horse team that was going to pick up Zach Ertz, I actually think the Jaguars are a pretty favorable spot for him.
That's exactly what Jeremy Fowler put out. He said the Jaguars would fit Zach Ertz's desire to play for a contender and offer familiar faces in head coach Doug Peterson, offensive coordinator Press Taylor, but tight end Evan Ingram's 7.5 targets per game. That's his highest clip since his rookie year in 2017. So Ertz, he wants to sign with a contender. I think the two contenders right now in the AFC, It's the Ravens. In the NFC, it's the Eagles. And those are two teams that the Eagles don't necessarily need a tight end, but the Ravens with Mark Andrews going down, a veteran presence would help their two young tight ends, second year, Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kohler.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of feels that a reunion with Philly seems like the perfect feel good, and I like what the Ravens have, but you can't argue a guy that's been around, that's has a pedigree of making big catches and understanding the game. This isn't going to happen, but what about the Dolphins? Like, do we think the Dolphins have any need for that? Their offense seems way too spread. It feels like Ertz has a certain system. Obviously, we know Kansas City doesn't need another tight end.
Well, so, okay, that was the team I was going to bring up because they don't need another tight end. But what other weapon, like the state of their offense, can they deny the opportunity to get another weapon for Patrick Mahomes? Because it's not like Zach Ertz entering the Chiefs, I guess, receiver tight end room, I think would put him up there probably top 3 for their weapons, at least in the receiving game. Do I think it happens? No, but that's a team that if it did, I could see Andy Reid and them also keeping him away from the Ravens. I mean, we saw this in 2019.
Yeah.
Terrell Suggs gets released by the Cardinals around the same time, says, I want to go play for a contender. Everyone and their mother is like, oh, Baltimore. He's going back to Baltimore. Chiefs come in and swoop him up.
And that's how it works. So there's a game in that. There's a game within a game. I just don't know if it fully makes sense on that front. It just, I can't get my mind off of that. It's going to be the Eagles, but Baltimore would be interesting. And can we just talk about this for a second? I love Zach Ertz, but it's not like he's prime Zach Ertz anymore.
No.
So like, what would a team, in your guys' opinion, like Rock, what would your expectation be
for Zach Ertz?
Yeah.
Come in, be a blocking tight end, catch a few passes when you can. Don't be the guy, because he's at this point in his career, he's not the guy anymore. If he goes to a team, he wants to win a ring. He wants to be on a contender, or at least compete for a Super Bowl. So go in there, play your role. You're at the tail end of your career. And that's not a knock on Zach Ertz at all, but it's facts. He is. He's not the Pro Bowl Zach Ertz caliber guy that he was back when he played with the Eagles. So go in, do your thing. He seems like a team first guy. Help a team out. Catch a few touchdown passes if you can, but be like a security blanket for a quarterback that needs it, where you don't have to be. Yeah, exactly. So the Jags, that's why you brought up the fit. Like, Evan Ingram's catching all these passes right now for them. He's one of their best weapons offensively. It's like Zach Ertz can be the other guy.
Yeah.
Where if you're in trouble, you can throw to him as well.
I think so too. And actually, in the poll that I put here on YouTube, I also put 49ers as an option. I know George Kittle's over there too, but
don't do it.
Could be
that
it's not like they would say no to that.
Yeah. If any team could figure out how to perfect the 2 tight end, just with all they have, it would be the 49ers.
Yeah.
If you guys are Eric DeCosta, are you picking up the phone and just having a conversation with Zach Ertz? Are you even
absolutely?
Absolutely. That's like, I'm not trying to ask a stupid question here, but that's security blanket we talked about. Like, what's Lamar Jackson missing when Mark Andrews goes down? It's a security blanket. Now, I want to give Isaiah Likely a chance. I think he could be very solid in a dominant role in year 2, being the guy, because when Mark Andrews went down last year, Isaiah Likely had a pretty solid rookie season. So I do want to see what Isaiah Likely is capable of. I don't want it to be a thing where you're taking reps away from him, but the Ravens are competing for a Super Bowl right now. So if Zach Ertz can truly help them win, and they feel like Zach Ertz can help them win, I think Eric DeCosta is easily going to pick up the phone and at least have that conversation.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's coming here, but
I think where you hit it there is, Likely, even against the Chargers, he showed his playmaking ability. He showed why the Ravens like him so much. And you would love to get him these reps and for him to continue to grow. But as you said, the Ravens are competing for a Super Bowl. So if Eric DeCosta feels like Zach Ertz in any sort of way helps this team on that journey, I think he makes an attempt at least to get it done, because what's the biggest thing they're missing with Mark Andrews? The check down guy, the guy who will sit in the soft zone across the middle, find the soft spot, get open, and is right there for the 10-yard completion. OBJ and Rashad Bateman really started to do it, I guess, take over against the Chargers doing that, but I would love to have a Zach Ertz to do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I think EDC, he does his homework. He looks it over. No one's going to be more prepared to look at the team and go, is this going to be a fit? Right? I think for all the people that give all the hate to any executive, but especially Eric DeCosta, look what he's done, by the way. Talking about homework, Kyle Van Noy, Jadeveon Clowney, bringing guys in that fit. If he thinks he fits, they're going to try to do it. But then the other part of it is the Zach Ertz thing. I think he'd fit in Baltimore, but he's got a lot of brotherly love. That's me being corny as hell, but he's got a lot of brotherly love back in Philly.
So who do you think Zach Ertz would rather play for? Going into our next topic, Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts?
Ooh, it's funny you bring that up. Well, that is a topic that a lot of people have wondered. Who would you rather have?
We know one tight end's opinion.
Yeah.
One Hall of Fame tight end's opinion.
And I like where you're going with this. So the topic that Zach is speaking of is Shannon Sharp on his nightcap with Chad Ochocinco was talking about who would they rather have, Lamar Jackson or a Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia?
Who you taking?
Holy shit. God damn, that's a good one. Let me take my goddamn glasses off for this one. You can't go wrong either way you go. That's like asking me to choose between the musical taste or listen to goddamn Beyonce or listen to Rihanna. Both different styles, both phenomenal artists at what they do. But either way you go, is it a wrong answer?
I'm taking Jalen.
I like Lamar. But goddamn, I like both of them. That is a difficult question. That's difficult. And then you know what I think it also comes down to? You line up 20 people and you ask them the same question. It's all based on preference and who and what they like.
Jalen built is a little bit more durable. He's a little bit more sturdy.
Yeah.
From the waist down, he's going to be able to take the pounding a little bit more.
Pause.
Obviously.
What?
Okay. So for me, and having seen the progression that Jalen has made, I'm gonna go Jalen.
Yeah,
I would go Jalen. And Ocho, and seeing, man, look here, that fourth quarter. If you ain't up by 25, if you ain't up by 2-3 touchdowns,
they coming back and winning.
He coming.
He's coming back and winning.
Well, that was a very detailed explanation of why about Jalen Hurts.
Too detailed.
It is apparent that Shannon Sharp is a fan of Jalen Hurts below the waist.
Yeah,
that's what I got out of that.
Yeah, I think if that would be one of the main topics. But overall, let's get back to actually the conversation. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. I mean, look, these guys are both studs. Like, this is not trying to say that there's a huge difference. But guys, it is interesting hearing that. Jalen Hurts, by the way, I think it's fair to say he's probably been the most impressive quarterback this year in comeback wins. You guys have the stat of how many comeback wins he's had, by the way? I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know he's had multiple games, including this last one against Buffalo.
Last two, at least.
He's come back. He came back down 10 at halftime against Buffalo to come back and not only tie the game at the end of the fourth. Jake Elliott booted that 59-60-yarder, but then to win it in overtime, like, the dude's clutch. But
Eagles have had 4 straight comeback wins. A little concerning. Just gonna say it.
Okay, you could say it's concerning, but I'll even point this out. And again, we know how we feel about Lamar Jackson, but Jalen Hurts, he deserves the respect. You got to go out and win those games.
100%. Yes. He leads the league in total touchdowns. He's got 18 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, which isn't great, but
no.
The Eagles and Jalen, they figure out how to win. And yeah, they're all come from behind wins, but they're figuring it out. And actually, that's one thing that the Ravens have really struggled with this year and in years past is that fourth quarter. We all know as Ravens fans that we dread that fourth quarter. It's like if they're already losing going in the fourth quarter, you might as well call it a day. And even if they're up by 2 scores, you're not even sure if they're going to win the game. So look, you have to tip your hat to Jalen.
No, I'd agree. And I think I never really thought I'd say this. Ocho was 1,000% correct, where if you ask 20 different people, you might get 10 people say Lamar, 10 people say Hurts. this isn't a thing saying one is bad or anything. Both these guys are top 3 quarterbacks probably right now in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it does come down to preference. I mean, if you think that the size on Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar, and for that reason, like, if that's his reasoning, I don't agree. Like, that's just not.
It's like trying to choose between Peyton Manning and Drew Brees.
Yeah, it's just really one of those things where it's like, okay, if that's the only thing, like if that's what separates them to you, you must think that they're both pretty even.
Also, I agree with the Law Show here. He says that Shannon really doesn't give a whole lot of depth to his analysis on Jalen Hurts. I mean, that was his core.
Well, he gave depth. He gave depth, but not maybe the depth that you were anticipating.
Below the waist. He gave.
Do you have a touchscreen laptop?
Yeah,
that's what you took away from this.
I have another.
Yeah, because I just watched it.
2 screens that are also touchscreen.
Jalen Hurts. I just pulled up the stats. 6 fourth quarter comebacks, 8 game winning. No, I'm saying over his career. His career.
Yeah, but
relax.
ADD.
Calm down,
Raise your
everyone.
eyes.
Everyone, calm down.
Yeah,
Rocco, here we
I'm
go.
Like,
Brad's gonna roll his eyes out of the back of his head again. Good lord, man. Come on. 6 fourth quarter comebacks, 8 game winning drives. 2023 alone, 4 game winning drives, 3 fourth quarter comebacks, like you guys touched on. So I think unique in their own ways. I don't think we need to say Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson or Lamar Jackson is better than Jalen Hurts. They are both top tier quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts does have more weapons than Lamar Jackson, and I'm not making excuses for Lamar Jackson, but A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
They're both wide receiver ones. There's two number 1 wide receivers on
Well, and to go with the point of it, the styles of offense, the styles of play are different.
Yeah.
Right? Like look at how the Eagles are constructed. They have in the beginning it was, well, can Jalen throw? And then he obviously proved he could. But they have a really power running game, which isn't around necessarily Jalen running the football. He'll use his legs to extend, but it's not like Lamar Jackson where he can house 175 yards. I know Jalen Hurts is a good runner, but the Ravens offense is still so ground oriented. The Eagles offense has become more balanced, and that does help when you have a great offensive line. You have Jason Kelce as the center. And then, oh, by the way, you have 2 wide receivers, and A.J. Brown is having an unbelievable year, and Devontae Smith's picking it up. So to your point, these guys are great. Yeah. They're unbelievable. The Eagles, though, there is something to be said about figuring out how to win games. You don't have to say that they're the best team or that you don't think that they're a little overrated at 10-1. The reality is they find ways to win games. And I think Ravens fans, we'd rather say we want to be in that position of going, well, hey, the Ravens sneaked out that win against the Colts and the Steelers, but hey, the Ravens would be 10-1 too, or whatever it is. So anyway, it's a good talking point. It's a good problem to have Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. I don't know if I'm going to describe either player that way below the waist, but that's fine. It's all good, or that's fine. That wasn't a great segue, but what I want to talk about is a different situation around the NFL. Last week we talked about Amon-Ra.
That was what you just.
Yeah, I know. I
fined.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? Last week we talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown getting fined, on Monday, him getting fined in his contract, or for the play on the field, the block, right? There's a report that came out, not a report. One of the kids, or 20-year-old kid that works for the NFL, was just suspended by the NFL. And if you guys want to remember, there was Tyreek Hill had a really cool touchdown celebration where he flipped with the camera. The kid who had the camera was suspended for the NFL for the rest of the season, and he made a video about it, and we want to play it for you right now.
The NFL season at 20 years old. As a junior in high school, I started filming videos for our school's basketball team. At just 17 years old, I learned the skill of social media networking and was able to create opportunities to work with star players like Tyreek Hill, Saquon Barkley, Antonio Brown, and many others. I'm a student at the University of Miami, and when Tyreek got traded to the Dolphins, we instantly reunited and began working together. In 2022, I applied for a job with the NFL, and they hired me to work at all Miami Dolphins home games. I had one of the greatest years of my life, working side by side with one of my best friends, watching him take over the league on his new team. In week 6 of this season, Tyreek scored a touchdown in the exact same corner of the end zone that I was filming in. He noticed me and surprised me by grabbing my phone and doing a backflip. It was the coolest moment ever, and I ran into the tunnel to send the clip to the NFL. Tyreek got a penalty for the celebration and was immediately asked about it after the game.
I seen the camera and I just took it from him. and he didn't want me to take it from him. So that's my boy K Fitz, man.
The NFL then let me know that I would be suspended for the remainder of the season and possibly for good. They said regardless if I knew the celebration was coming or not, I still had to be disciplined and that I shouldn't have jumped on the sidelines after the play. One of the best moments of my life turned upside down in a matter of seconds. I get why the NFL had to make this decision and wish I could have done something to prevent it, but I'm thankful for the memory that Tyreek gave me. This was the greatest job in the world, and I never took a day for granted. I can't thank the NFL enough for the opportunity. Whether it's back with the NFL or starting a new sport, I just hope to get another chance at doing what I love.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack here. There is a lot to unpack here. First off, there is a connection with Tyreek and K Fitz that you heard him talk about, that he was connected with videos and giving his video editing skills to professional athletes, and him and Tyreek, he would work for Tyreek. They became friends. He works for the NFL. Fellas, that was a moment for me watching it. I'm so thankful for the NFL's opportunity. It's great, but I'm also going to put you on blast for suspending me.
100%. And the ironic part is that the NFL's Twitter account actually posted that.
Yeah.
And ended up taking it down. But it's just like the irony around all of that is just absolutely insane. And not only that, but like it actually brought more exposure for the NFL. The play itself is probably one of the most iconic moments in this season so far. And to take that away and taint it like that is just a damn shame. Yeah,
it's brutal. I mean, I think looking at it, that was, what is the NFL? I know that there's protocols, but what does the NFL want to be? You want to get exposure. You want to get people excited. What element, if you watch that actual video from the camera itself, like that's wild. You might think, oh, it's lame. That's really cool. And you can pinpoint the moment that happened. And now it's being looked at as being a scapegoat moment for especially a kid that's just excited to have this opportunity, Zach.
Yeah, I guess they told him part of the reason that he suspended is because he was excited and jumping.
Yeah. What about the jumping part?
You just got one of the coolest videos in NFL history, and you were excited to go send it to the NFL. It's not like he's like, oh, I'm putting this on my own TikTok and it's going to go viral. He was running to go help you go viral. And then you're like, please don't jump on the sideline as the entire 50,000 people around you are losing their minds. They're like, you got to be more disciplined than that. Like, come on.
Fun league.
Yep. It's fun league.
In media, it's frowned upon to cheer in the press box. You're not supposed to do that. I don't know what the rules are on the field, but I think this is simply ridiculous that you're going to suspend a 22-year-old kid that's living out a dream, just having the time of his life. His guy just scored a touchdown. Right. It's not some random player. Like, that's the guy that he shoots for. That's the guy that he basically got the job because of. Mm-hmm. He comes up, he takes his camera. I've gotten excited over shots I've gotten before. You get fired up. It's the coolest thing in the world. You get that feeling and you're like, wow, I just got that, man. Like, that's surreal. And that's a moment he's going to remember for the rest of your life. Like we talked about with fines, give the kid a warning. Take him aside. Yep. What are we teaching anybody if he has no clue? Now, if they came to him before and said, hey, if something happens where Tyreek comes up to you and scores a touchdown, don't jump around. I still don't agree with suspending the kid, but like, take him aside, talk to him. 22 years old, he has not been in this business for long enough to know better. I don't even know what he would know better. Like, that's you don't need to know better in that situation. Like, what are we doing?
They wanted a 20-year-old kid to act like a 50-year-old, like 50-year professional.
What do you want him to do after someone takes his camera, does a flip? And you're on national TV. That is so cool.
20-year-old who Tyreek Hill just ran up to, asked for your camera after he scored a ridiculous touchdown, then did a backflip with your camera, and you're supposed to be like, yeah, I'll take that back.
Was he wearing socks? I'm surprised. Like, I'm wondering if they find him for not wearing socks.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Yeah, it would just be so on brand.
The whole thing is mind blowing. And Rock, obviously you're in this space, so you might be able to speak to it more than we can. You just kind of hit on it a little bit about like not cheering in the box, but like, what's so terrible about being excited about a moment like that? And why is it that traditional media and organizations like the NFL frown upon that? Is there an actual reason to be given, or is it just about professionalism in general?
I don't know, Matt. Like, in the press box, it's a working area.
Sure.
So you have media members that are trying to do their job. So if you're a fan of the Ravens and you're covering the team and watching the game, they don't want you cheering and going, touchdown, let's go Lamar, all that, because it's distracting for everyone else in the press box. That's just how it's looked at, whether you agree with it or not. But on the field, I don't see a problem unless he's jumping in front of someone's shot. Like if someone is like working and getting their shot as well, and then you're standing in front of their camera and jumping around and like affecting how someone else gets their job done on the field, that's one thing. But you're outside, you're enjoying the atmosphere as you should be. And I don't know. I really, truly don't know. I don't understand this. And I think it's just a bad look for the NFL to suspend someone who's 22 years old trying to make their way in the business, because he's got a great opportunity. I'm sure he wants that opportunity back. He clearly does. So I think if anything, this video, again, agree with him making the video or not, I'm completely fine with it, because I think it's going to get him more exposure, and someone's going to pick him up and be like, hey man, we want you on our team. We want you to do our videos. We think that's cool.
If I'm the NBA right now, if I am any big sports company, sports league, I'm calling this kid right now and I'm like, hey, make a video. We'll hire you for the entire season.
Yep.
Make a video saying that you're now doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, you could double his impressions, everything.
First of all, the video that he made in reaction was awesome too.
Yeah, no, he has a the connection with him is because he makes these incredible videos.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be just fine. The players love him. Tyreek loves him. You don't think Tyreek keeps recommending him to other players and people and organizations?
100%.
He's super talented. Look, we love the NFL. Like, who doesn't love watching football on Thursdays, Sundays, Mondays? Now, if whether players like playing on Thursdays is a whole different story. Yeah. But we love the product. But what people don't love is this. Just to me is it's
just
petty.
Another reason why Roger Goodell gets booed everywhere he goes.
Right. And on top of that, I know we're trying to move on, but if the suspension for, if you're going to suspend him at all, give the kid like a game or something like that. Yeah. Be like, hey, we're not going to have you shoot next game, but come back. But I don't agree with the suspension at all, but it's just like, it just baffles me that happened. And they're knocking this kid because of that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, do we even want to venture to talk about what we were doing at 20 years old or any mistake? Raise your hand if you made a mistake at 20. Right here. Let's go around the room. You better put your hand.
When you said let's go around the room, I was like, are we saying them out loud? I was like,
no.
I was like,
are you guys haven't made a mistake? Are you really?
I didn't hear the question.
You didn't hear the question? Have you made a mistake when you were at 20 years old?
Having trouble with the
too much time has passed for Rocco.
Can you hear what he's saying, Brad? Because I'm not sure.
Do you guys even remember being 20?
No.
Oh, you're hilarious.
I was just about to say that.
You're hilarious.
I actually don't remember being 20.
Sorry, I forgot we're with children in this room. Brad.
Oh my God.
We got to deal with this guy.
Almost 20 years ago.
Child.
Yeah, you got
fun old 23.
Well, okay.
You look older than me.
All right.
You're a good
Moving on.
You really are a kid, Zach. But hey, moving on. Who's not a kid and has been around the NFL for a while. It's a little a guy named Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco signed with the Browns. Their starting quarterback Robinson got hurt. Is actually in concussion protocol. The Browns came out and said, if DTR is not going to start for the Cleveland Browns, Joe Flacco has now surpassed PJ Walker. I know, Zach, it's upsetting, but Joe Flacco would be in line to start this Sunday against the LA Rams. Guys, fellas.
If there's anyone who would do it, like, I'm glad it's Joe Cool. Like, if anyone was going to take that away from PJ, I'm glad at least it's Joe.
What is your fascination with PJ? I love PJ Walker.
I love the whole like XFL, like the
storyline.
Yeah. I think he's a
dog.
Yeah. He's a decent
dog.
But he just statistically, and I'm not just basing
okay,
it all
well, I'm also a
Ravens
like fan. I don't want the Browns to win all the time. I just I just, keep their head above water.
Fair.
Yeah. Like, I don't want him to play like
I love
an
PJ
MVP.
Walker. Temple U. I want him to succeed.
What's his name?
If Joe Flacco was on any other divisions, he probably would have had three or four rings, right? He played with Troy Polamalu, and then you had the Lee Evans drop. Let's not talk about Billy Cundiff, but there's potential. Like
the AFC North is
reason we call him January Joe.
Oh yeah, get him to January.
He hasn't been on a winning team since the Ravens, and now he's got a shot to get himself back into the playoffs. And as much as I'd hate to say it, I mean,
January Joe.
There's a lot of things about Joe that's changed over the last 5 years, but he's still January Joe.
Well, and I think people forget last year. This was last year. He started against the Ravens on opening weekend.
Didn't have a bad game that day.
No, he didn't. The Ravens defense, they really shut them down. And he actually had a comeback win. That was the one where Nick Chubb didn't go down.
Yep.
And then the Jets got the ball, scored, got the onside kick, and scored again. And Joe, I think had 4 tutties.
Don't let Flacco get hot.
Don't let Flacco get hot.
Don't let Flacco get hot. Easy as that.
Well, but it's exciting. I know for Ravens fans, you don't want to see it would actually kind of hurt to see Joe Flacco go up to Cleveland and have all that success. But I'm rooting for him. I want to see Joe ball out, just not against Baltimore. Do it against everybody else. Let the Ravens win the division. But it's cool to see what he has left in the tank, especially since he was contemplating maybe hanging it up, but he wanted to wait just a little bit longer if he'd have one more opportunity. Well, here it is. This is probably his best opportunity he's had in the last 4 or 5 years since he left Baltimore, Brad, like you said.
It's a perfect team for him to be on if you're Joe Flacco, right? You got a staple tight end in Njoku. You got some decent weapons around you, Cooper. I think there is some legitimacy here. If they get the run game going, Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford start doing their thing. I mean, Joe Flacco just seems a perfect plug and play guy if he still has what we all think he has.
Imagine, Brad, if they still had Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my!
That would be even better for him.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
but imagine that as well.
Insane.
I hope he succeeds. I know you guys are like not against the Ravens, but it would be a cool story. And to do it, it's just like one of those things, like seeing Ed Reed in like a Texans uniform.
Yeah, Texans and
like
Jets.
the Jets.
Yeah,
it's just weird to see
felt
Joe
naughty.
Flacco put on that Browns uniform. It's just like one of those tweets, like you throw out the like name a random baseball player.
Yeah.
Like years from now, it's going to be a player that just spent his career with one team, but looks weird in a. I know Joe Flacco went Eagles, Broncos, Jets, and now Browns. But
he's low key becoming a great
he spent the majority
grid.
he is a Raven. People, I feel like, still view him as. Do you? You view him as a Raven? Yeah, he's a Raven. Exactly. So no, because
Ravens don't lie.
You give me a look every time I say something. So I get confused.
We know you get confused, Rock. Hey, but actually, Brad, do we have that as a poll? Does anyone think that Joe Flacco can lead the Browns to a playoff victory?
I do not. I do have a poll up right now.
What is the poll up right now?
Should Rocco wear the Unabomber hat ever again?
Oh, that's fantastic. I think I saw Joe make a comment coming in here. But actually, it's talking about you two here. No hat Rocco and hat Brad. What world am I living in?
Yeah, that is true.
We addressed this in the beginning of the show. I am instructing everybody how to wear the hat properly.
He's putting on a lesson today.
But Brad, I have baby hairs right here.
So you can still hide them. Look,
I can't hide them.
See how far up I'm bringing this hat. Sorry.
Yeah, but Rock, you actually look good. You look good right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
thanks, man.
Be yourself. I mean, you were
cut himself on his hanger coming in here though.
I did. I have a little boo-boo on my finger right now.
Yeah, there it is.
Jesus.
And if you guys want to see that photo of Rocco just strutting in 15 minutes late, it's on my Twitter page.
I asked Brad if I needed
to check it out.
Real quick, I do want to bring up that I am called like a child and a kid here. My friend group has entered the chat, and I am the oldest, and they call me like 75 every time. So
you are an old man, like at heart. I feel like
you don't
have
kind
of.
Yeah.
Well, you know who's actually a little bit older? In this case, we're sticking with Joe Flacco. Older. Well, not as old as Brad here. Let's calm down and actually, it's actually in order for everyone to know.
Joe Flacco and I might be around the same age.
Just saying. Stop traffic. Well, hey, stop traffic here. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that's even older than Joe Flacco.
Hey, now.
And Aaron Rodgers is back practicing, guys. It is absolutely wild. And I think we have a video here of Aaron Rodgers practicing with the Jets, which is mind-blowing. I don't even know if it's worth it at this point for him to come back. I don't see it. I think maybe for him to prove a point of doing it would make sense, but not really. If you want to win a Super Bowl, I don't think even if Aaron Rodgers comes back, that Jets offensive line is brutal. I don't know if there's much to be saved for the Jets this year. Do you guys any thoughts, concerns?
No, I really don't understand what Aaron Rodgers actually has to prove at this point. I don't know why he look, I think it goes without saying that Aaron Rodgers just loves the attention, and maybe that's what this is all about. There's lots of conspiracy theories swirling around as to whether or not he even had a torn Achilles, or maybe he had a partial tear before the season started, and so then like he gets a full tear and is able to get paid this entire time while he's recovering. I don't know. All I know is that I watched that man's calf snap on Monday Night Football, and so I'm inclined to believe that it was a legitimate tear. We saw this with Cam Akers, but Cam Akers took even longer than what we're seeing here. This is something that's unheard of, and I don't understand either. Like J.K. Dobbins getting the same treatment, we haven't heard a peep from that guy.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers is coming out here, and look, he's been slinging it. I
love the conspiracy theories behind it.
I just don't think that it's worth it to him. There's a very small chance that even if they went out, they're making it into the playoffs. So I don't get it.
Yeah, what are they, 4-7 right now?
Yeah, they legit have to run the table to have a chance. So that's where my biggest thing is, like, if they were sitting at 500 right now, I would understand it. But what is he coming back for necessarily? Like, let's say he comes back, they do run the table. Yeah. They do it and still miss the playoffs. Now you just wasted all the time again, worse draft picks, all of that, where you can just tell him to take the year off and come back fully healthy next year, and we can run this thing back for one last time. But him sitting there and putting it at such a big risk just to hope and pray that you make that 10% chance you get to have it get in
makes zero sense.
No.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but time will tell with that. It's just, it is what it is. But while he was giving an update, and we've seen him practicing, but he gave an update on his own health when he went on Pat McAfee. He also went on Pat McAfee to go to bat for a quarterback in the NFL right now who gets a ton of criticism, especially from Brad here.
Yeah.
But he was praising him. The quarterback we're talking about is Dak Prescott. Aaron Rodgers right now is beyond impressed with Dak. We want to play a video of that explaining what Aaron is seeing from the Dallas Cowboys star quarterback.
Ringo calls. So that's protection adjustments against these crazy looks and picking things up. I'm watching him, bring the tight end back in against the zero pressure and throw an old concept we used to run for a touchdown to CeeDee Lamb in the back end zone. I'm watching him use his cadence beautifully and get into this rhythmic, here we go, into like dummy, using it as a dummy sometimes, doing it twice, into like other cadences. I mean, the last 4 or 5 weeks I've gotten to see more of their games, and I just want to say, like, he's playing a position in a really impressive way. And for whatever reason, maybe because he's the Cowboys quarterback and it's one of those premier positions in sports, like I feel like the Green Bay quarterback has been for a long time, and some other, positions in various sports, he might take a little more shit than he deserves, or maybe it's deserving of the position, I guess. But I love the way he's playing, and I love the way he's playing, like really playing. I'm not talking about just like, making good throws. I'm talking about, like, it seems more rare that guys are actually really playing a position where you're making adjustments, you're handling everything line of scrimmage. Now you're doing this crazy cadence stuff. Like, I love it, and I just want to shout out Dak for, like, really impressing me. Multiple times.
Hey, baby, Dak, he doesn't hear that a lot.
No, he doesn't.
What do you think, Zach?
I mean, how can you disagree with Aaron Rodgers? I don't know more about football. Do I think Dak is this insane quarterback? No. Did Aaron Rodgers like change how I look at him? Not really, but I understand where he's saying, like, there's so much more that goes into it than the average fan is going to look at and see when it comes to like moving protections and stuff. But like, I think Dak, I agree with Brad in the fact that I think Dak is still Dak. Like, he's going to be able to air it out for a bunch of yards, but if you need him to go win in a big game, I'm not sure he can do that.
Do you know how many winning teams the Cowboys have played this year? Teams over 500.
Elaborate.
It's got to be
two.
I was going to say 3.
Know what their record is against those two teams?
0-2.
0-2.
Who were so it's Eagles and
San Fran, they got
49ers.
blown out 42-10.
oh yeah, they did get
Dak Prescott's numbers are so blown up this year because of the level of play that they're going up against. Their opposition has been, it's just like they're playing, pee-wee football against these guys. The Giants, the Jets, the Cardinals, the Patriots, some of the worst teams in football. And so, of course, Dak Prescott's going to look amazing against those guys. But put him up against a winning team, a tough defense to go up against, and he folds like a lawn chair. So I'm still not buying it. Still not buying the Cowboys. I'm not buying Dak Prescott. Just not doing it.
I'm interested to see what they do going forward because they have a gauntlet coming up. It's Philly. Well, this upcoming week, it's Seattle. So they have
Tonight.
Yes, the third.
That's
oh my God, that is tonight.
That's not an easy win.
It's not an easy win. No, but then they have the Eagles on Sunday Night Football, back-to-back primetime games. So for Dak Prescott, show up and show out. And then you have at Buffalo, at Miami, versus Detroit, at Washington to close out the season. So the Cowboys have a bit of a gauntlet going forward. Dak Prescott, I agree. He's got to show up in the big games against the good teams. And the 0-2 record, that's not something to take lightly.
Yeah.
So go out and prove it. I will ask you guys this, though. If Dak Prescott wasn't on the Cowboys, do you think he'd be as criticized as he is?
No.
I don't
because
think
I feel
so.
like being the quarterback, starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, you are under the microscope more than most. And that doesn't take anything away from Lamar Jackson because he is one of the most scrutinized players in the NFL, or Jalen Hurts, or Josh Allen, or any of these guys. But
here's what I would say to that.
Yeah.
If Dak Prescott was on any other team but the Cowboys, nobody would be talking about him, period,
Bingo.
because he's so mediocre as a quarterback that it's not fun to talk about.
Yeah, if he was on the Buccaneers right now.
Yeah. Were we talking about Baker right now? No. Because I would make the argument that if you put Dak on another team, he's not going to we're not going to be talking about him because he's just not that big of a star. He is a game manager. He'll be solid on any team, but he's not great. He's not a great quarterback.
I do want to bring up his stats because we talked about them, and you said your point is they're inflated.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Second in completion percentage. He is 6th in passing yards. He is then, let's see, passing touchdowns. Dak is second. Interceptions, he's only got 6. QBR, he's second in the league. And passer rating, he's second in the league.
But again,
okay,
anybody against the opposition that the teams that they played up against, and those quarterbacks are also going to, I mean,
with those weapons, I mean, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks.
Right, exactly.
Well, so I'll just say this. You got to play who you play. And since that San Francisco 49ers game, Dak Prescott has 18 touchdowns, 2 interceptions over those 5 games. You can say what you want. You can say that
how many interceptions does he have on the year?
He's got 6.
Oh, he's going to get close to that 10. Remember that big thing where it was like, there's no chance I throw 10 interceptions this year.
He's going up against some pretty stout defenses coming up here, so it'll be interesting to see how many he actually throws.
It'll be fun to watch. And it starts tonight. You mentioned it, Rocco. It's Thursday Night Football. It's going to be Cowboys Seahawks. Another note, by the way, the NFL flexed their first game of the year. I believe. What was it, Rock? It's the Patriots are finally not on primetime anymore. What is the game again? It's the
Eagles Seahawks Monday night in Seattle. And Ariana, if you watch this, I apologize. My girlfriend's going out to Seattle for that game, and they thought they were going to see the Sunday night game. They're not going to, or Sunday game. They're not going to get to go to that game now because it's on Monday.
I was literally just thinking, like, how can you change it a whole day? Like, I know that this is the first year, but I get being able to flex any game on Sunday to anytime, but flexing it a whole day is, like you said, I mean, this is in what, 2.5 weeks?
Yes. This is the first flex in Monday Night Flex in NFL history.
At the end of the day, guys, the NFL is still going to sell tickets.
Oh, without a doubt.
People are still going to show up. It's probably going to be a sellout crowd.
Yep.
It's prime time. They could care less, I feel like, in this situation. It does, though, suck for the fans, some of whom have already scheduled travel plans to go there. And this is going to be a thing going forward. Like, if you pay to go see Sunday Night Football, plan your whole trip around that.
Right.
And now you might not be able to cancel your hotel.
Yeah.
Cancel reservations, cancel this, cancel that. It does suck for fans.
I mean, especially with that matchup, Eagles coming across town, like, that's a big thing that people have marked on their calendars for probably since the schedule came out. Like, oh, that's a game I want to go to. like you said, you make a weekend out of it. You're like, okay, bet Monday morning we'll fly out. Now it's like, oh, we're flying out Monday morning and the game's Monday night.
You might have to work on Monday.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I think the bigger part for all this is the total experience for the entire country. Because as a fan that's not going to be at the game, I'm pumped to see a good primetime game. But for the ones that are going to the game, that sucks. That shit sucks. There's no sugarcoating that. The reality is the NFL is moving that way because money talks. People are going to buy seats, but I do feel bad for the ones going. However, Monday night is going to be a lot more exciting with that matchup than seeing the Patriots, who maybe that's exciting if you like teams that score maybe one touchdown and Mac Jones throws a pick and then Bailey Zappi comes in and then we don't know who the starting quarterback, but it doesn't matter type of thing. But hey, quickly, who do you guys got tonight? Seahawks, Cowboys. I will start first. I think Dallas wins this game.
They're playing in Seattle?
India and Dallas.
Oh, in Dallas? Yeah, I'm probably going to take Dallas on this one as well. Defense is probably just going to overcome Geno Smith. I have him in my fantasy league. I'm not starting Geno tonight.
Rock?
I'm going to go with Dallas in this one.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Brad, the hope is that Dak Prescott's watching the show and he's going to make Brad eat his words, but I highly doubt that. So we'll see.
We'll go with it.
What's Seattle's record?
They've dropped the last couple games. I think they're 6-5.
Dallas is 8-3.
I'm taking Seahawks because they're wearing those dope ass uniforms tonight.
Is it the neon green ones?
No, I hate those.
You hate those?
Yeah, I don't like them.
I used to love those.
I used to.
Dallas is
I have one, but
9-point favorite. Cowboys. Oh yeah,
I have a Marshawn Lynch one, but like that doesn't mean
you do seem like a jersey guy. You got a lot of jerseys.
I have a Johnny Manziel jersey.
Yeah. All right, enough of the jerseys.
The Cowboys are
9-point
They're
favorites.
9-point favorites.
Hammered.
Well, I mean,
This one's in Dallas, by the way, not in Seattle.
I know
That's a
that
lot
the
of
spread
points.
could be high, but if you're picking a team to win the game, I think Dallas wins the game, but I think the Seahawks can cover it. But before we dive into the rest of the game picks, because we're running a little bit behind, we always do, but we want to take a trip around the Maryland region before we get into our games pick with Adams Jeep. So if you guys don't know, Adams Jeep, proud sponsor of the Ryan Ripken Show, and we want to make sure that we let you know what's going around the rest of the area. And so we've talked about that the Ravens and Commanders are both off bye weeks, guys. It's kind of interesting that they're not. Let's talk about some of the other Washington teams. The Wizards, they beat the Pistons on Monday, I believe, but then they went back down to earth and dropped to,
back
I think,
to reality.
3-15, lost to the Magic by 19. Hey, the Magic are 13-5, by the way. On the other side of it, the Caps dropped a game on Monday, but bounced back to win against the Kings. Ovi, that's the big story following if Alex Ovechkin as he creeps towards that goal record. No goals this past week. So nothing moving there. Maryland's men's basketball beat Ryder, which is their final tune-up before opening at Indiana tomorrow. Are we excited about that?
Absolutely.
I'm interested in it, to say the least, because I just want to see how this Maryland team reacts. You know what I mean? Because there were decently high expectations coming into this year.
I'd say significant.
Yeah, I was going to say they were, I think it was 29th in the poll to begin the year. So right on that cusp of being ranked. And then it was just everything that could have gone wrong in the first few games did. So I want to see how this team going into the Big Ten play can get their stuff together.
There's nothing like college, but I miss Maryland being in the ACC though, man. I miss it.
Those were the days, man.
I mean,
Maryland has no rivalry right now. Like,
I know it
Duke,
sucks.
Used to be Duke, and those were always games to look forward to. But like, it's just not. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah, just lost last night.
Yeah, Duke did just lose.
They got their asses.
When Duke loses, America wins.
This is true.
I will
love it.
UNC just dropped 100 points on the number one defense in the nation in Tennessee.
Also, is Baycott like 30 and still playing for?
Yes,
He's like the Robbie Hummel of college basketball now. Robbie Hummel, I swear to you, was in college basketball for like 7 or 8 years.
That's what it feels
Speaking
like.
of guys who are here for Spencer Rattler just said he's declaring for the draft, and I didn't know that was an option. I was like, I thought that was the only place you could possibly go.
Do you guys remember Perry Ellis from Kansas? He's another one.
Oh yeah.
He was there for like
he had a
15
hairline
years.
like mine.
Well, is that something you want to be proud of?
I mean, actually, he had a hairline like Rips.
Hey,
so.
you know what? I got time out. Look, I got a haircut today. Shout out. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe it was just fluffing my tires up or pumping the tires. But they said my hair had some good depth to it. And I'm like, hell yeah. What about up top?
Is that what you're coming back with? Got some good depth in the hair?
Got good. There's a lot of good growth. Said whatever you're doing, it's working. But we'll talk about up top later. So anyway, our All good, exciting. College basketball. We're going to dive more into college basketball. We're going to try to do more things down in College Park with the Iron Rooster guys. Our friend Kyle and the Iron Rooster can't wait to get down to the new location. He's the best. They are great, right downtown in the hotel. I'm glad we don't have the Roost Tarts here because I don't need to eat a ton of those today.
I'm not. I need one right now.
Oh yeah, you missed it. You missed our day.
Yeah, I did miss it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, is that work?
I did. Thanks. For
we get it. You're at work.
It was a very sad day for me when I was watching you guys. And that's why I posted the meme of Squidward watching SpongeBob and Patrick run around outside because that's what it felt like. I was at work. You guys were here enjoying the Roost Tarts, and I didn't get to reap the benefits of the Ryan Ripken show. So I was very sad. Well, very sad.
I'm sure we'll have something else with Kyle and the Iron Rooster coming up. But what we are figuring out here is that Zach is our Patrick Star, Rocco is our Squidward. And we don't know what Brad and I are yet, but as long as we're not Squidward.
This came up. This is so off topic.
You're Squidward, Rock.
Does Rocco not give off the same vibes as a corgi?
As a what?
Corgi? The dog?
A corgi, a dog.
Not a corgi. What?
Yeah, I said corgi.
He said corgi.
Well, I said corgi.
No,
corgi.
he said it the second time.
Time.
Also, corgis are.
He's in denial because he knows he's the corgi.
I'm not a corgi.
It's the little legs that really give me the.
Oh, you know what? I see it. I see it.
Thank you.
If someone can pull up the Lord Farquaad thing last night too.
It was Michael Jaffe. He used to be a producer.
Oh my God, it's so great. But
listen, I had no idea that I was the perpetrator of the hair clip.
Yeah, the only guy with good
Monday
hair.
Night Show, and it was hilarious that was it Joe or Rick, one of the guys that follows us, called it out, knew that it was going to be me that made that clip, and I had no idea that it was going to go as bananas as it did. Absolutely hilarious.
Well, there was just some great hair all around.
What kind of 18-wheeler truck did you drive here today, and how many water jugs did you piss in?
What?
That's what that's what he's.
Oh, he was trying to make a joke, Rocco. That's why Squidward, easy Squidward.
All right,
come on.
We gotta talk about hair.
Hey now,
baby.
Woo!
Rock might be taking the corn throne away from you, Ryan.
Well, no.
I can't believe I can totally.
My
believe
jokes don't usually land. That was a bad one. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Rock corgi. A rock corgi.
Let's start this, Malachi. We don't need this, man. Come on.
Hey, you're a good kid. Hey, one of my best friends had corgis growing up, man. They were great.
We have one too.
Yeah, we have our own now. It's great.
I'm not a corgi. I think I'm simply not a corgi. If anything, I'm like a majestic golden retriever.
That is
no, I don't think so.
No,
with less hair.
You don't have the flow for that.
Nope. All right, hey, we're way off.
It was Rick though. Real quick.
Let's finish real quickly though. The women's team bounced back. The team in Maryland that's usually done well over the years for basketball, they won by 70. Now they did play Niagara. I guess we're supposed to do that, right? Won by 70. And then Towson basketball plays the South Dakota State. Is it the Jackrabbits?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
They play tomorrow night, so that should be
Walters.
fun. Shout out to you. Go Tigers. Should be fun. But hey, that wraps it up for our Adams Jeep around Maryland. We have a lot more that will come with more for the future weeks. And we have more coming up with Adams Jeep, so stay tuned with that. All right, guys, we need to get into game picks because our time is way off, so we really got to be on the clock for this one.
Everyone state your picks.
Can I be the clock guy?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to be honest with you. I just look at it and if shit starts.
Yeah, you're terrible at it. So
yeah, how do we want to do this, Brad? Do we want to have Rocco be involved, or should we just have him be?
No, I'll be the clock guy.
He'll be the clock guy.
I'm fine sitting this one out.
Thank
I talk too much.
goodness. Thank goodness.
Set the play clock to 40
Don't
seconds.
need Brad to roll his eyes.
So, Brad, do you want to do the picks off here, or do you want to do producer action?
Just to let you guys know, so for those of you guys who are watching, I do have a poll out for our picks for our dogs of the week. There's 3 of them that I thought actually stood out, so we can take one of those 2 guys. But Seahawks versus the Cowboys, obviously. Broncos are underdogs versus Houston, and Packers underdogs, of course, versus the Chiefs this week. So before we get started, I just want to let people know, vote in there. Let me know what you guys think. For those of you who are watching, let's get started. So First up, obviously, we got Seahawks versus Cowboys. We kind of already made our picks
Yeah.
there. We're all going to take Cowboys.
Well,
So
I'm Seahawks
oh, yeah, that's right.
for uniform reasons.
You're Seahawks. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah, Rocco, start the clock.
Start the clock. All right. First,
I'm sorry.
First up, we got Chargers, who are favored against the Patriots. Obviously, I think I'm going to take Chargers on this one. Tough loss last week to the Ravens, but pretty easy win should be for the Chargers.
Yeah, if the Patriots win this, they should not let Brandon Staley out that stadium. So, Chargers.
Well, with having said that, is the game's in New England, right?
Correct.
Give me the Patriots. You thought that Brandon Staley had his moment against the Ravens, was having a good coaching game. Belichick has another coach get fired from LA. I think the Patriots win it, and there's a new head coach in LA.
All right. Next up, we got Lions versus New Orleans. Lions are favored by only 3.5 points. Very interesting. So they are in New Orleans. I'm going to take Lions on this one. I don't think it should be particularly close, but we'll see. I'm going with Lions on this one.
Zach?
Yeah, I gotta go Lions.
I want to go Lions, but I'm a little bit worried because I don't think that they're playing the best defensively, but the Saints aren't playing good offensively. So give me Detroit.
Next up, we got Falcons at Jets. Kind of an interesting game. The Falcons, I mean, I feel like the team's better than what their record shows. Jets are just an absolute mess. Obviously, their defense is still there. If they can utilize Bijan Robinson, I think the Falcons take this one. They're only favored by 2.5 points, but I feel like I'm just never taking the Jets for the rest of the season, probably.
Yeah, I can't take the Jets. I'm going to go Falcons. Sorry, Tim Boyle.
Yeah, the Jets defense is so good against the pass, and that's something that the Falcons don't like to do. So give me the Falcons, but it's going to be really ugly.
Up next, we got Cardinals at Steelers. Steelers are favored by 6 points. Feel like that's a lot for a team that doesn't have any offense whatsoever. I hope that George Pickens, for the sake of my own fantasy team, actually does something this week. But I will take the Steelers just because of that crazy defense with TJ Watt. It's gonna absolutely destroy the Cardinals' offense.
Yeah, I gotta go. I hate that I'm picking the Steelers, but they pull everything out of their ass. So why not another one?
Yeah.
The weirdest shit happens in Pittsburgh, usually in their favor. I think the Cardinals cover this game. It could be a very entertaining game, but Pittsburgh wins.
Next up, we got Colts at Titans. Colts are favored by only 2 points. It's a division game. I think the Colts should take this one easily. I don't understand the spreads this week, but I'm taking Colts on this one, and I don't think it should be particularly close.
I'm going to take the Titans. I'm going to take the Titans just for Mayo Boy. I don't know why, but just Levis have a day. What if Levis just has a day?
I hope so. I'm starting him.
He might, and also Jonathan Taylor's out, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be the Zach Moss show, which they've won games with him. But the game's in Tennessee. It's a divisional game. Colts already won the first matchup. I think Tennessee takes this one, but it's going to be a weird game. Colts defense, sneaky, by the way, is playing pretty well.
Next game is going to be Dolphins, who are heavily favored against the Commanders. Thought the Commanders had a bye this week.
That was my bad on that. I read the schedule wrong. It's the following week.
Okay. All
so right. Ryan, that can be subtracted. That Ryan sucks in a lot of ways, and there we go.
All right. Dolphins are favored by 9.5. Pretty easy call here. I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Commanders are losing on their bye. It's tough seeing. They're going to go 0-1 in the bye week. That's horrible.
Yeah, I know. I get it. Everyone makes mistakes, but you own up to it. And you guys were laughing.
You at least did that. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I am I full of shit? Right. Well, about 15 minutes ago I was, but Dolphins win this game. Tyreek Hill is going to continue to chase after 2,000 yards. He's going to put on for K Fitz after getting suspended.
That would be dope.
Next up, we got Broncos at Houston. This is an option that I put in here for our Twitter or our YouTube folks to vote on. Texans are favored by 3. I'm going to take, this is going to be my dog of the week. I'm taking Broncos. They're just on too much of a hot streak. I know that CJ and crew are playing out of their minds, but I think the Broncos defense actually keeps them at bay enough for Danger Russ to take this game.
I can't go against CJ Stroud. I thought about it. I can't go against MVP.
Can't win 6 in a row.
Ooh. Give me CJ Stroud.
Thank you.
Give me CJ Stroud at home. I think they bounce back.
All right. Next up is Panthers at Buccaneers. This is going to be my suck bowl of the week.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Buccaneers are favored by 6 points. I will say that Chuba Hubbard has kind of turned it on over the last couple of weeks. If they can get that run game going, they might give the Bucs a run for their money, but I'm going to take the Bucs nevertheless.
This is going to be my weekly. I don't pick a team. I just say take the under.
There you go.
All right. Well, I usually when they make a lot of coaching changes, it might ignite a team. This is not going to be the case in Carolina. You fired your entire staff. You don't have anyone else helping out Bryce Young besides Adam Thielen and a broken down offensive line. Buccaneers win this game.
Cleveland Browns at the Rams. The Rams have kind of been just a really interesting team this year. I'm not quite sure what to make of them. Still don't know who they are. The Rams are favored by 4.5. I'm taking the Browns. Don't know why they're favored so much, but I'm taking the Browns in that defense and Joe Flacco coming in and taking it to the Rams.
I mean, if you think I'm not picking Joe Flacco, you've got another thing coming for you. Browns by 1 million.
Yeah, if Joe plays, I think they got a legit shot, but I'm going to actually take the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford and them might have figured something out. It's a second game on the road for the Cleveland Browns. I think the Browns defense is better, but I don't know. I want to see Joe with one game, but
I think the Browns are
No, sorry. The Browns defense is better, but I think that the Rams offense right now with what they have and Stafford being back is the difference in this game.
All right. Next up, we got Niners and Eagles, the game of the week. Niners are favored by 2.5. They are at Philadelphia. As much as I want to take the 49ers, I think I'm just going to take the Eagles because they are playing at home. And that's really the only reason.
I'm going to take 49ers because the Eagles have had 4 straight comeback wins. And I don't know if they fall behind that San Francisco defense, if it's going to be as easy.
BCB.
Big cock.
Big cock Brock.
Big cock Brock.
Big cock Brock. If he's healthy and plays, I think this game means more to the San Francisco 49ers. Give me San Fran.
Lastly, we have Sunday Night Football, Kansas City Chiefs at the Green Bay Packers. This is going to be a fantastic game. We've seen Jordan Love really coming into his own over the last couple of weeks. Chiefs are favored by 6.5. I know I already had my dog of the week, but I might take Packers on this one.
I'm considering the Packers too.
I'm going Packers. Going Packers.
Jordan Love. Let's show him some love. Packers.
Hey, I love me some love too, but I love Patrick Mahomes better. I think the Chiefs win this game.
Gotta remember it's prime time. It's just weird. There might be 7 points scored.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you're going to bet in this game, the under is great in prime time. It happens every single time. When's the last game that went over in prime time recently?
No idea.
I couldn't even tell you.
It's not a lot.
It's not.
But give me the Chiefs. I think that they found a little rhythm against the Raiders on offense.
There we go. We're not even going to talk about Monday night's game, even on Monday. I don't think it's Bengals Jags.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, those are your games.
Yeah.
Game picks for week 13, gents.
It's crazy that we're in week 13.
I know.
I hate that.
It's nuts, Rock. How do we do overall? Did we do okay?
Pretty solid. I think you went over once.
Nice.
That was because of you. You ran.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that's all right. It's all right. You're a good kid.
Monday. Speaking of Monday, 13-1. The under is 13-1 on Monday. That's just something to keep in mind.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
So the poll that I put out for you guys at the beginning of our picks, what is your underdog NFL game of the week? The Seahawks tonight came in the lead. 50% voted Seahawks, and then 40% Broncos. 10% of you guys picked Packers over the Chiefs.
Hey, now stop traffic. Seattle. I hope it's a better game. I just want to see some competitive games on prime time. That's what I want. Even though the Bears and Vikings was terrible for 3 quarters, at least the final quarter was something, right? So I hope to see that. And the Seahawks need a win badly. And hey, we've had actually a pretty good live audience for the most part here today, guys. I just want to shout that out. Everyone that's here, by the way, thank you for stopping by this Thursday.
Not you, Malachi.
Yeah. Whoa. Malachi, you're always welcome. But thank you. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and like button. And we like to interact. We want to hear what you guys want to talk about. We're trying to keep building the community. And as you can see, we're a lot of goobers, especially Rocco.
That's our corgi.
That's our corgi.
That was just him last week. He was the corny one, and it can't be me.
No, I said
no,
corgi.
Corgi.
He's corny. You're corgi.
We're gonna
get that on a t-shirt.
Get it on a t-shirt.
Instead of Rip and Rock, corgi and corny. Oh my God. Oh my God. Someone write that down. Someone write that. Put it in the comments so we remember it.
Okay.
Flipping it.
All right. Hey, before we get out of here, because we do got to get out of here. The Ravens are on bye week. And again, I messed up. Commanders aren't, but they might as well be on bye week because it's not going to go well. Favorite moment for this Ravens season so far? We'll do it real quickly. Go around the horn. Brad, we'll start with you. Favorite moment for the Ravens so far this season?
Zay Flowers scoring his first touchdown abroad.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Rock, are you ready or are you a little nervous?
I think as far as the community and the city goes, OBJ scoring his first touchdown as a Raven, then hitting the Park Heights strut. I thought that was really cool for the city.
Yeah. I put it on Twitter earlier. I gotta go Keaton Mitchell's first touchdown run where he just took off and you were like, oh, like we're here.
He's a dude.
Yeah.
I think my favorite moment was the fact that everyone was ready to claim that the Lions were here and Jared Goff was better than Lamar. And then Lamar reminded everyone how super talented he is. I mean, that was just a clinic. And hopefully we have that Ravens offense and Lamar for the second half of the season. Should be a great, or not even second half, but the final 5 games that the Ravens have, 6 games, right? Should be fun. A lot of things left to be decided. Am I missing anything?
Quick thing I want to talk about, just because it's insane. Iowa versus Michigan this weekend, the points per half for Iowa are set at over under. I think it's 0.5 or 1.5.
I'm taking the under.
I think my buddy told me the team total for Iowa. I could be completely wrong, but one of my friends told me that the point total for Iowa was like 6 in that game.
No, it's like
team total. Is that like a fact? Team total for Iowa is 6?
Yeah, because for team total for each half is at 0.5 right now. Yeah. So it's literally, do you believe Iowa's going to score?
No, all punts and turnovers for
But
Iowa.
Here's the thing. That defense could score. If you're betting on it, you're relying on like a safety on something.
But it is the going out party for Brian Ferentz, their offensive coordinator. I'm pretty sure it's his
Harbaugh's also free.
last game.
Harbaugh's also free.
So I think before the bowl game. So just keep an eye on that. They're probably going to be trying to throw a lot at Michigan.
I was going to say,
yeah,
what else?
Not,
I don't know
not
if they
throwing
have.
a lot, trying to throw a lot.
And also right now, as we look at it, if I saw it correctly, the over and under right now for Iowa for the entire game is 6.5 points. Over and under 6.5 points. We'll find out. And maybe on Monday, we'll talk about another rumor that's starting to swirl. If the Michigan Wolverines win, is Jim Harbaugh going to Chicago? Bears. That you know what?
Bear down.
We'll save that for a different day. But hey, that's all we got for today's show. Everyone, hey, round of applause for coming in here. We appreciate you going around the table, or actually the couch.
You have to explain the.
I'll explain that at the end. So I did this to start off the show. Shout out to my teammate Willie Yan when we were trying to get some good magic going. Apparently, it's something that he did when he was in college, just in the minor leagues. I really started to pick up on it when I was in high A in Frederick, or as we call it, F-Town. And I saw him do that. And
who calls Frederick F-Town?
I do.
What you hit at home, was it better than Dunbar?
Oh, way better than Dunbar.
Frederick locals called downtown Frederick DTF, which I find hilarious.
Oh, it's great. We also called ourselves our teammates. We're the Frederick Keeds, but we'd also be the Frederick Freds. A lot of things go down in F-Town. We also were the Frederick Cheese for a game, and we blew a 4-run lead in the ninth for a game.
Was it like a promotional thing?
Yeah.
You lost as the Cheese.
Yeah, we lost to the Cheese. We gave up 4 runs in the ninth with 2 outs.
The Cheese touch isn't real.
But people don't forget. People don't forget those moments. But yes, Willie Yan was the one that did this. And that really kind of just made me relax, set the mood. It was fun.
That set the mood. What?
Like, it set the mood that you're going to go out there and have a good game.
Was he just sitting in the locker
room? All
room?
right. You know what?
I'm sure your girl loves that.
Okay. Well, hey, you guys are all good kids. Everyone that tuned in, thank you again. And we will see you on Monday. Enough. I will see you on Monday for another episode of the Ryan Ripken Show. Oh, gosh. You guys.
Jesus.
Woo, woo.